This is Fox Sports Radio, AM 1280 Rochester.
Hey, folks, welcome to the weekend edition of What's Going On, The Experience here on Fox Sports 1280. And my name is Nate Brown Jr., and I'm the co-host with the most, and I got the other co-host in the building. I got my man Ryan V down in NYC in the Hamptons. What up, Ryan guy?
Hey, good to be here, everybody. Good morning, folks.
And then I got my man Greg Vaughn, who's getting on my damn nerve. He's getting on my nerves, y'all. Even before the show, he's giving me the business about the Knicks and the Mets, and I'm like, dude, it's okay. What up, GV23?
What's up, Junior? How are you, bro?
Okay, see, you didn't even call me Junior, and like we got you a mess, Greg. We got a guest in the building with us, man. My man Paul Root with the Rudy from the Tony. What up, Paulie?
Nate, how are you, my friend?
How
Good
you
to
doing,
see
man?
you.
Come on, man. Get excited, man. This is what's going on. This is how we do.
Doing
Nobody's
great,
laid
man.
back in this game, man. Trust me when I tell you, nobody is laid back. And we got to get started because I got to do this for my man, Greg. You know, Greg, you called it with the Baseball World Series. It's been a tremendous, tremendous journey. And honestly, this is the first time, Greg, that you could say it's a World Series because it's another country playing another country. I ain't even thought about that. Because if we call it the World Series, we ain't playing the world. It's like, yo, it's Toronto, another country versus the United States, which is, the Dodgers. So it's a really true World Series, Greg.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because if you look at it, you actually have a whole country rooting for one team, right?
Yeah.
And your Mets are at home, so you don't care who wins. Ryan's Yankees are at home, you don't care who wins. You know what I mean? So, when you come from the U.S., we have our team. So, but being sports fans, man, I think it's good for baseball. I think it's been a good postseason. As I stated, a couple weeks ago, I think, when you have 11 days off as a baseball player, I don't care what type of player you are. I mean, it's going to put a little, hitch in your giddy up. You know what I mean? And I think you can see that with the Dodgers hitters, where Toronto just, they came in rolling and they kept rolling. So, last night I thought it was a good chance to be over. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to be, but that's a testament to Dave Roberts. Every time he doesn't win, it sounds like Ryan, calling for Aaron Boone. The Dodger fans are calling for Dave Roberts. So I think, he kept him in the game. He went with his heart. He put his guy in there. He got him 3 outs, and he might start the Sunday game. So with that being said, I think it's good for baseball. I know here in Vegas, just going down the strip, that game was on everywhere. Then you get then pulling into my, to where I live, same thing. That game was on everywhere. People were glued to the TV. I think it's this is the only time you get college football, college baseball. I mean, college football, pro football. You get NBA.
Everything
you
is
get
converging
hockey.
at the same time.
Yeah. It's a good time to be a sports fan right now.
Well, yes and no, because if you're a gambler and you're Chauncey Billups, it's not a good time to be a sports fan. We'll talk about that later. But I got to get my man Paul Root in there. Paul, you got some connections to one of the look like could be a World Series hero. We never know because the games, 7 would be on and we on Sunday. But you never know, Paul. Ernie Clement, tell us about the connection that we have from Rochester to Toronto all the way back.
Yeah, Nate. Ernie Clement is, I mean, I don't know him personally, but my son and daughter, who are twins, they went through all the schools with him. They were 1 year ahead of him. So he went through all the Brighton school districts here, from the elementary, middle school, high school. So they know his son and daughter. Said they could not, have couldn't meet a nicer guy. Just his family, his focus, and so it's really extraordinary. And we don't even have a lot of big leaguers from Rochester, but to have a possible World Series champion, even a participant, I mean, it's a big. This dude's starting, and he's got a great story. So he was. I think he's a hockey, baseball, and I heard he's a hell of a golfer too. So that might be his next life. But he went to
So is
university.
Greg. I heard Greg's a heck of a golfer.
Yeah, No doubt.
Sometimes.
But golf is like baseball, I guess, Greg, in that regard, right? You right when you think you got it figured out, it can humble you very
Oh, it
quickly.
humbles you in a hurry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It humbles you from sometimes hole to hole, round to round,
Yes.
month to month, just like baseball.
Yeah, pitch to pitch, right. And Ernie, he went to University of Virginia, and he won the College World Series in as a freshman, and
Yep.
he contributed too, man. I remember he had a big hit. I don't know if it was in the game winner, but in the playoffs to get there, and University of Virginia won the whole thing in 2015. Got drafted by the Indians, Guardians now, and I think 2017 up and down a little bit, almost made it, but they ended up releasing him, played in Oakland for a little bit. And I heard a lengthy interview with him where he said, he had to look at himself in the mirror because he knew, it was one step to, go find a new career type of thing. And he got this chance with Toronto and he's making the most of it. And I am a Toronto fan. You see, I got my shirt on, and you know, we're in Rochester, New York, so it's actually the closest big league city to us.
Close big leagues here that we know. So Ryan,
Yeah, that's what
so
I'm gonna say.
Ryan,
But you know what? Well, at least you're a true fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nate, Mr. Junior over there. you know.
Greg, I got to tell you, Nate and I, we trauma bond because we're both Jets and Knicks
with
fans.
Jets.
So we've been friends for 20 years, going suffering, man.
Exactly.
So,
You know, maybe
Paul,
maybe they should go over there. Go. He's in Rochester too. Maybe he should be a Blue Jay fan. You know what I mean?
maybe it's time to switch teams. So the Blue Jays came last in the division last season. Did you see this coming, Paul, as a Blue Jays fan?
I've been following them, and it's a great point, Ryan. That last season was almost they've been showing promise, and they've got a good team together the last number of years, but they made it to the playoffs something like 3 of the last 5 years, but they lost 6 playoff games in a row. The
Yep.
wild card, they never got out of there, so they've lost 6 in a row. And then last year, the bottom really fell out. And then everyone's like, okay, we're about to break it up. This was the last year. They did pay Vladdy that big contract before the season, right at the beginning of this
Mhm.
season. And then it just came. They were under 500 in July, too. And then they turned it around. This season, I heard John Smoltz say in baseball, this has been a very streaky season all over the place. The Blue Jays won like 17 out of 20. But if you were, and they took over first place, but the Yankees caught them. They collapsed the last 10 days almost the last 2 weeks. The Yankees tied them, but Toronto did manage to win their last four. But they ended up with the same record as the Yankees.
Mhm.
But Toronto had one more win, or they beat them in the season series. So Toronto got the division. They also
So
they had one more win than the Dodgers, and
to the
that's why
Dodgers.
they got the home field
So
advantage
so
there.
so Ryan, how do you feel about this little history that we're revisiting with the Stinkies as they got trounced by the Raptors?
Ryan, I
I
gave
mean,
you
not,
love. I admitted
I
they
mean, I
caught
mean,
him. They
I mean,
caught him
not
the
even the
last game.
Raptors, by the Blue Jays. And Greg, reserve your laughing for later, my brother.
How do I
Got you.
feel about the Yankees? You know what? The Blue Jays just seem to be playing better baseball, and all season they were a better team. Till, like you mentioned, Paul, they kind of had that little downfall at the end, but the Yankees weren't able to get back to first place.
Yeah,
Um, I think that as a Yankees fan, I'd be happier with the Blue Jays winning the World Series this year, selfishly, because I'd rather see my team lose to the champs.
sure.
And also, the Dodgers just danced on our graves last year, embarrassed us in the World Series, and then just rubbed it in our faces. So I really thought that we were going to come out, a little bit more fired up this year. But I mean, overall, like you said, to see them go from a last place team to a first place team, they just weren't meeting their potential last year. Vlad Jr. already earning his contract,
Yeah,
bringing them to the World Series. So, as for a prediction, I'm going to stick with what I said. I
Okay.
do think that the Dodgers are going to win it. I thought they'd win it in 6 games, but I do think they're going to take home the World Series in Game 7. It's just so stacked. And as we saw them taking Glasnow out to finish the game up, they've just got such depth. But we'll
true.
see. We shall
Okay,
see.
so Greg, back to the baseball savant over here. What say you, my brethren? Because you be laying it down the way it's supposed to be. So, what is your take from Game 7? Like I said, when we air this show, it would have already been over. But you got Shohei versus Max Scherzer.
Well,
Talk to me.
I think the Blue Jays pack a lunch. You know what I mean? They pack a lunch. They're blue collar. They don't give anything away. I mean, if you think about it, in Game 6, they were one swing away from
Yes.
the chip being over, right? But the thing about the Dodgers are, man, that they're built for this. They've been through it. What this is? You're going back to back, the third in 4 years, right? They're built for this. This is what the Dodgers do. They don't quit. And I'm gonna tell you who one of my favorite players is. Kiki Hernandez, man. Kiki, I don't care where you put him,
Yep.
where he hits. He's a baseball player, right? And that's the definition of a baseball player. He can play center field. He can play all over the ballpark. That's why all these little kids out there learn the game of baseball.
Yep.
Don't just get stuck on a position. Play everywhere. You know what I mean? So you never know where you're going to be needed or what your calling is going to be. So for Kiki made the play to extend their season, right? We could call it aggressive or bad base running. Kiki made the play. He got him by a fraction last night. So I just think that baseball's in a good spot. I think being a former player and a fan, I think it's going to be a good Game 7. I think you hear other people, especially in the States, oh man, it's going to be horrible. Toronto, blah blah blah. It's not going to be
Man,
this.
this is one of the best. This is one of the best World Series I've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah,
I'm
it is.
I don't
It
care
is.
anybody say. This is one of the
It
best
is.
ones, Greg. And I don't mean to step on you for a second, but this one was one of the best that we've seen. We got to take a quick break anyway. And when we come back, Paulie, stay with us. Everybody got so Greg, what's your prediction? You got Toronto, you got the Dodgers.
I just think the Dodgers are built for this, but I like the dog, man. I like to, but I was, yeah, it's a tough one. I'm a David Roberts. We're friends, so
Yeah.
I think the Dodgers. But growing up a Giants fan, I hate the Dodgers. So not as much as the Cowboys. Not as much as the Cowboys.
Listen. Paulie, we know where you stand. Ryan, okay. Ryan, we know where you stand. Greg, you're hedging your damn bets. As always, you're hedging your bets. It's like
I live in Vegas. I got to. I live in Vegas.
Jesus, hedging your bets. This is what he does, bro. Folks. Paulie, he hedges bets. I'm like, dude.
Hey, man, we didn't even mention, what about that ball that got wedged in the bottom of the fence last night,
yeah.
man?
Wait, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about your man, Yo Mamana, giving up 8 hits. And he in Toronto only gave up 3 or 4. So we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. What's going on in the experience? Fox Sports 1280, all right, media. And don't forget, you can still give to Alzheimer's Association. ALZ.org/Rochester. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks, to What's Going On in the Experience here on Fox Sports 1280 and iHeart Media. And I think today you're supposed to change your clocks forward, backwards. Which one? Because I'm confused. I'm 70 in 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on. So is it frontwards, backwards, Ryan? I'm asking you. You're the young guy in the group. What is it? What do we do?
You think I know about daylight? I think, what did you say there, Paul? It falls back, right?
Fall
back?
forward, fall back. Yeah.
So we fall back. Okay, so speaking of falling back, Greg, as we fall back, Toronto is going to roll out Max Scherzer. Now, I don't know how I feel about this because if he's pitching bad, he'll punch the manager in the face and stay in the game. So I don't know. Greg, help me out because they got Shohei. Now, last night they walked his behind, okay? I think a couple of times because he was coming up on like, now you better walk this guy. I don't think I pitched to him. But then again, you had to play, Greg, where the ball allegedly got stuck and then the guy pulls it out and then they could have scored a couple of runs and then they send them back. Tell me about that because that looked a little Vegas-y to me, brother.
No, you know what? That was a smart play. But, once again, as the defensive center fielder was going over, he just came in the game. I think Kiki threw his hands up because as he was going down to reach for it, and he threw his hands up, and that saved the Dodgers 2 runs. You know what I mean? Basically, that was a tie game. There was a tie game because if he goes down and reaches for it, makes an attempt to get that ball, the chips fall where they fall. So I think once again, Kiki throwing his hands up saved the Dodgers 2 runs because the center fielder happened to take a glance at Kiki and he threw his hands up too because he was on his way down there to try to
grab that ball, brother.
Yeah, he was trying to grab it. Shit,
so what do you think, Paulie, as a fan? You're looking at this going, what the hell is going on?
No, Greg hit it exactly right. They Hernandez put his hands up, and that cued the other guy to do the right play, because if he had grabbed it, and it was just one of those freaky things. I mean, Toronto's got to bounce back from that too, like they did from that 18 inning loss. Man, that was hard. They got it. That's like, you look at that and go, man, are we cursed or what? Man, it gets wedged in the wall. But then two men on second and third, no outs, and then Ernie came up and popped up the first one, and then that double play. I also want to hit on what Greg said about Kiki Hernandez, because I feel the same way about him. I've been scared because, like, these guys are just ready to break out. Some of these guys are so overdue. Like Mookie last night, he finally had a hit. But what Greg said about Kiki is the same. Clement too is like this utility guy. He has the chance right now this year. They're going to announce it actually tomorrow. The day we do the show, that it's going to be broadcast November 2nd. The Gold Glove winners, and he's nominated in two categories. He could literally win two Gold Gloves as a utility man and as the third baseman. Nobody's ever done it before. Guys have won two Gold Gloves at different positions, but never in the same year. So that could be one more. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's the leading candidate in both of them. But I think utility. I think he's gonna get it.
So,
But you
Roy,
know
what
what?
do you think about that,
I
Ryan?
love his I love his swag. You know what I mean? He's one of my favorite. Just walking up there, he looks like he's from New York. You know what I mean? He looked like he's gonna, he listens to hip hop. You know what I mean? He just walks up there with with that vibe. And
Greg,
like you
he
said,
imitates Vladdy when Vladdy turns his cap and pulls his shirt out
yeah,
at the end. They go do a little
yeah,
dance together after every win.
yeah, yeah. He does. You know what? They wouldn't be there without him. I know that for sure.
Yeah,
And it just sucks that bases loaded and first pitch he sees. I mean, they had the right guy up there because he doesn't strike out. He
yeah,
Yeah,
puts the ball in
he,
play.
he does. He's
He,
very
he
minimal.
ambush. He's what we call an ambusher. You know what I mean? The first thing he sees smoking up there, that's
He
out
gonna
over
hit
the
it.
plate.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's taking a pass. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, Glass. No, he rode that sinker up there, caught him up above the label a little bit, and it just wasn't Toronto's day. But Toronto has, like you said, they have bounced back every single time. They've been put in this position,
Yeah.
and whether it was against the Yankees, whether it was after the 18 inning game, hey, someone's going fishing today if they don't. Whoever doesn't bounce back today,
So
as the
Ryan, so
OT&T
Ryan,
crew said.
quickly, Ryan, um, as we break this down, like you said, you're a Dodger guy, but you got to give our guy from upstate New York a little bit of juice here, man, because he is playing well, and if the major leaguer says it, the guy there at 55 and told him to walk, something to be said about our brother from the Rochester area, Greg. I mean Ryan.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, he's definitely great. Like you guys said, we'll see what happens tonight. I do fear, like Greg said, the Toronto Blue Jays just keep coming back stronger. Like sayings, you beat these guys up, you take them down, and that's when they do their best. And I hate when people say who wants it more. Whoever wants it more is going to win. But I would think that for Toronto to get this far, it is a way uh, harder run for them to make than LA, considering how that team is built. I feel
Mhm.
like LA is also built for the future, so maybe there is something in there that gives Toronto a little bit of added motivation, just in general. And it seems that all those guys on the team, Ernie Clement and especially Vladdy, seem
Vlad,
to do
yeah.
really well under pressure and when the gun's on them. So
Oh, another
I
thing
don't want
too.
to take back my prediction, but I do fear that yes, Toronto will have
But
some
Greg,
crazy bounce back.
you had said this a couple weeks ago. You said when Bo Bichette came back, and you kept saying that. You kept saying he was like a little
Yeah.
missing piece of the puzzle. And you are absolutely correct, Greg. His presence in that clubhouse is monumental.
Yeah, for sure. Can you imagine if Bo was able to play the field, now
Yes.
that frees up that DH spot for somebody else too. You know what I mean? Because Bo's a great athlete. In Toronto, they steal bases, they go first to third. With his knee the way it is, he's unable to do that. He's unable to give you the full repertoire, so to speak, right? So he can give you that bat presence, but still, he was out for over a month and a half, and then to
Yeah.
come back at for game 3 or 4, Springer, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Hey, man, I mean, he's a warrior. I mean, for him to go out there, I mean, if you never had an oblique, you can't cough, sneeze, or laugh. And
But
for
did
him
you
to be
see him,
swinging,
Greg?
Yeah,
He
he was
when he
grimacing.
swung and missed, it was worse than him hitting the ball. He rather
no, it
made
is.
contact
It is.
because when he swung and missed, you could see him kind of like doubling over. I'm like, I hope he's all right,
Well,
man.
that's what I'm saying. And I'm telling you, I've had that twice, and that is some of the worst pain you can ever have in your life. And then when it's like a hamstring, but in your rib cage.
Mm.
So when you think you're back and you take a pass, no, it reminds you you're not back yet. You know what I mean? So for him to do what he's doing, hey man, this just goes to show you that hey, all hands on deck. There's no tomorrow. Whatever we got to do to get where we got to get. But I just don't even know how he's doing it because I had it, man, and I know there's different degrees, but I got much respect for Springer, Mr. Springer, right now.
Yeah.
Not George Springer, Mr. Springer,
Mr.
because
You said,
I like
yeah,
that.
Yeah, he also took a 97-mile-per-hour fastball off his knee like 2 games before that
Yep.
too. Almost took one up in his head. Now he's shown. Nate, you made a great point about Bo Bichette though, and people don't. Bo
Yeah,
Bichette
that
was
dude.
leading the major leagues in hits. It's not
And
like he's
hits.
like an he behind Judge. He had the second highest average in the American League. He hit 311. And they lost him the last 2 weeks, like Greg said, in the whole postseason. And this
So,
sort of shame. Him and Vladdy came up together. They've been
yep.
together, but I don't think they're saying this might be Bo's last game as a Blue Jay because his contract's up. Somebody, and I don't think they can give him the bag that he's gonna command.
That he deserves. Exactly. I
Yeah,
mean, Toronto got to
yeah,
play
because
a
they,
couple of
they gave it to Vladdy.
One
yeah.
more
But
cool little fun fact here.
it's a shame though. They got to find a way to sort of keep that team together. That's what happens though. You know what I mean? Where you have the Yankees, the Dodgers, and Red Sox, they get to keep all their superstars, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else, they have to lose 2 to keep 1. So they don't have to, but I mean, to be competitive, that's what they have to do, right? So it's unfortunate for
Mm.
for the Toronto fans because being a former player and getting to the World Series, and you want that next year, even if you win or lose, you would like to run it back. When you don't get a chance to run it back, it's like starting all over, for a player and for a city.
For a
So
city, for a franchise.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
big, but that's what happens when you have good players.
So, Ryan, fun fact.
So here's a little fun fact. Max Scherzer also started Game 7 when the Nationals took down the Astros. George Springer and the Astros back in 2017. So
Mm.
this will be the first time he's the only living pitcher right now to start 2 winner-take-all Game 7s in the World Series.
Wow.
Hey, man.
A lot of
Hey,
faith in Scherzer there.
well, there you have it. If they take the ball from him, I do know the manager's getting poked in the face. That's all I got to say. If he comes out in the 3rd inning, we'll just watch for it, and he go, Max, give me the ball. And Max looking at him, I ain't giving you a damn thing. And he does that
Nate,
little.
I
He
didn't know
ain't
if he would even go though, Nate, but it shows you Scherzer at the end of the season, he had like an 11 ERA the last 6 weeks. He was horrible. But man, when the postseason comes on, though, that dude is a champion, man. I mean, he is, there's something else. He found another gear. I hope. I'm scared
well,
that he's on the mound to tell you the truth, but you
I'm
can't
gonna
give
be honest. I'm a little scared, but hey, what
short
can I tell
leash
you,
though.
man? We're gonna take a quick break, and I gotta give a shout out to the cattleman on the plane from Toronto, Ian Chan. What up, my brother? I was gonna holler you out there, Ian. Tell your boys in Toronto, listen what's going on in the experience on Fox Sports 1280 and iHeartMedia. We're on all the platforms. We'll be right back, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about Bills and the Chiefs and all of the other neat football stuff. Jets first win, Paul. We're excited. And
The one and
Scatterboo.
only,
I
maybe.
miss Scatterbooch. I miss him. I miss him
Oh,
already.
oh, that's brutal.
Oh, that's brutal. I miss him.
Ooh,
We'll
it
be right
hurts.
back. Fox Sports 1280. Not going no place. Ryan V down in NYC. Hey, folks, welcome back to our 3rd segment of What's Going On in the Experience. And this segment is brought to you by GV23, the greatest vino on the planet. Greg, tell us about that tremendous grape and vintage that you guys have out there, and how can people get access to the incredible GV23? It's holiday season coming up, folks. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Y'all got to get some of this vino. How can we get that, Greg? Hey, I can't hear you, brother. There you go.
23wines.com. We can ship anywhere in the country. And like I said, we're still working on that distributorship. So to try to get it in these stores. But GV23 on all platforms. But 23wines.com. We can get it to you anywhere in the country.
So, Paulie, if you need to get some wine, man, order that bad boy from Greg
Sounds
and the
good.
crew out of Vegas and California.
50
23.
right there, Paulie. See 50 right there.
Mr. Greg Vaughn, man, I'd be honored to, man. It's a great major leaguer I'm sitting with right here, man.
That's
Thank you.
this how we do it, man. Speaking of how we do it, Paulie, I gotta bring you in here because you and I are Jets fans, and every week I get the business from Greg, and I get it from from Ryan because he's a Giant fan. I was thinking the Jets are gonna go 0-17. How did they manage to win one game? Because they have been competitive, they have been, but how did they manage to win that one game by 1 point?
Well, how do they manage to lose 7 is more of the question, Nate. You know what? Because the Jets are such a fragile team, and it happens every year. They lose a close one early, and if you remember in the opener, they had Pittsburgh on the ropes in
On the
the
ropes,
opening
yep.
game. But then they lost it, and it's happened to that team. Teams have to learn how to win, and when you don't learn, man, and then losing is contagious. And I think that that's happened. Well, you know that it's happened with them so many times, Nate. They lose a close one early. They had Tampa Bay. They almost did some miracle thing there. Then they blew that with 20 seconds left. They could have 3 wins here. But, I like Aaron Glenn. I mean, he was a great player for the Jets. I hope they turn it around. But, dude, honestly, I don't even know why they let Rodgers go this last half. The last half of last year, Rodgers played okay. I mean, I know he's old and he's sort of crazy these days, but they had him under contract for 1 more year. I didn't really understand. Why do you grab Justin Fields? Yeah, I don't know. Like
What
they had Rodgers for 1 more year, then try to figure things out. I don't know.
what do you think, Greg? I'm gonna get you in here, man, because you always be dogging me with the Jets and the Giants. So what do you
No,
think?
that's
Because
my favorite
You
sport.
can't dog anybody because Vegas stinks too. So,
Hey, I'm a 49er fan.
oh yeah, you
I'm
see, you always do that. I'm a 49ers fan. Oh, okay, yeah,
I'm a
right.
40 I'm a 49ers fan. But for me, I think I'm I was pulling for you guys last week. You know what I mean? Brees Hall. I mean, he's too good of a player to have to go through
Mhm.
what he goes through.
Yeah.
And they did this without their two top wide receivers. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I think Glenn he's learning how to to be in control of a team also. And Paulie, to go back on what you said, I think they got rid of Rodgers because is he the right guy to lead young guys when you're trying to develop a
True.
culture?
It's a good
You know,
point.
I don't think, and knowing Aaron too, I don't, he's at a point where he's just trying to play, and he went to the only team he could basically go to, right? Where Tomlin does not put up with any other BS outside the building, right? We're all in. We're all going to play for the name on the front. Where when Aaron was there, I'll show up this week, but it's an off week, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
go in the
yeah.
woods and go in the woods and look at the northern lights, for a week and then come back out. I just think, and I'm happy they gave Fields a chance, man, because this kid has, he reminds me of like on a smaller version of a Jalen Hurts because he does all the right things, he says all the right things, he just hasn't been able to put it together yet. You got to remember, he's still, you know, football wise, he's still young. This man has 7, 8 different coordinators. I mean,
Yeah, it's
5
a
in
good
the first
point.
5
Yeah,
years.
Yeah.
good
You, you,
point.
you, so uh, yeah, I mean, even when when the owner comes out and
And
throws
trash
darts
the
at him,
dude. He
Yeah,
trashed
he
the
did
guy,
trash.
man.
he threw
You're
darts
right.
at him.
I do
He
like
said, "Hey, man."
Fields too. As a person, I want Fields to succeed. I'm scared that he's like, he's a couple games from calling this a career if he doesn't something doesn't turn.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm happy for him. I think once they get their guys back, and excuse me, I'm a guy that if you have a skill set, don't change the skill set. Let's maximize that skill set with
Hmm.
what we're gonna do, right? So I think it goes back to the kid that's in Donald now, he got with the 49ers, he got with the West Coast offense, learned to get the ball out of his hand quick,
It's
right?
Sam Darnold.
The-
Yep.
so yeah. Don't make him be something he wasn't. Jimmy G, same thing. Get the ball out of his hand. He leaves San Francisco. Never been. He's just Jimmy. He's not the G, right? So it's just, I think you have to have in football. You have to have systems that match what you're trying to do. So
Yeah.
you got to put guys in position to win. You can't draft, RPO guy and then try to make him drop back 50 times like Peyton Manning. It doesn't work.
So Ryan, let's go to the Giants right quick because I was really, really disappointed when I saw the injury with my man Scaramouche. Because I like that kid. I mean, Paulie, I got hooked on him when he played at Arizona State. I just watched him for the whole couple of seasons.
Hey, Sac State first. Hey,
Huh?
he's from my hometown. He's from 916.
I know,
He's
and
from
I just fell in love.
916
No,
first.
but Greggy, I
Yeah.
fell in love with him because he reminded me of an old school football player. Just like, yo, dude, I just want to play football. I'll block, I'll run, I'll catch, I'll throw, I'll do whatever I got to get done. And I'm not the greatest talented guy on the team, but I'm gonna give you maximum effort, Ryan. And how did you feel when he went down, man?
Oh, it hurt. It hurt. Scatterboo seemed to be almost the heart
Yes.
of the New York Giants, and they took the heart right out of us. And now Dayball's right back on the hot seat. I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy to see because it's been 4 years now, and he hasn't really gotten better. The team just seems to be progressively getting worse, although we do have a great quarterback. But it's kind of like you guys were just saying, how it's more than just a quarterback. Like, if you were to take the greatest quarterbacks of all time and put them on the worst franchise, they're not going to have the same results. So with the New York Jets, you've got Woody Johnson. He's one of the worst owners ever. Terrible. How do you expect a team underneath that with the GM who's constantly failing? You mentioned Aaron Rodgers. They had one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time drop the ball because as a franchise, it seemed like culturally they weren't strong enough to have a personality type like that. They couldn't even get the guy to be at practice in the offseason. So it's hard to really fault Justin Fields. But back to the New York Giants guys, I do think that even though we're out Scatterboo and we're out Malik Neighbors, I think that Jackson Dart's still going to shine. I still think that there's a chance that we beat the 49ers in New York. I mean, Mac Jones is playing quarterback. There's no Brock Purdy. And the 49ers haven't really established a run game. And that seems to be the Giants.
Well, like I told you last week, John Lynch has a pulled Achilles. Him and Frank Warner. We just got George Kittle back. Our whole team is banged up. Purdy's played 2 games. I mean, we've lost in the last 2 years. We lost more players than anybody that's ever have, and we still win. So we got a little steak dinner on this 49er Giants game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm straight biased. I'm trying to give a less biased perspective, Greg, but I'm going to take the Giants on this. And the Giants are secondaries depleted. Also, we don't have our cornerbacks. Like in general, the Giants are not as depleted, but pretty much. I mean, our 2-star offensive players are now gone, minus Jackson Dart. So
Ayuk
hasn't played all year. Fred Warner's out. Bosa's out. I mean, we're minus 3 cornerbacks. Like I said, John Lynch got hurt when he came back to try to play for us. He's our general manager. You know what I mean? So
he
got everybody out.
I don't know what he's doing. But here's the deal.
Did you guys hear about Dexter Lawrence fighting with Carl Banks behind the scenes? Did you hear Carl Banks' comments, Greg?
I think Carl Banks said Dexter Lawrence he's the Dexter without the Lawrence. He ain't doing nothing. That's what he said.
It's been disappointing. I thought the Giants had a way better defense for this year, and even Abdul Carter. Like, I know that it looks the stats don't really pop out, but I did expect. I think it's time to just get a new defensive coordinator in New York for sure.
You know what? But Ryan, you got to understand too, and that's why I don't understand these coaches. Like you said, you got to run the ball, man. And then if you run the ball, your defense don't have to be on the field. But if you 3 and out, I don't care who you are, man. You're tired.
Yeah.
So
hey, Nate, the guy.
Hold on, we're going to take a quick break because we're going to come back, right? Because all I got to say is Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings. I wonder how they feeling right about now. I'll even say Daniel Jones, the Minnesota Vikings.
I think Sam Darnold's feeling pretty good in Seattle.
But I'm just saying how the Vikings feeling because they just got rid of a couple of guys who are blowing up the NFL right now. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm gonna get to you, Paulie, because I do want to talk about the Bills and the Chiefs, and I want to talk about just get rid of the whole Miami Dolphins team and Tua War, whatever that guy's name is, because he's getting on my nerves. And so is Mike McDaniels. Just get rid of the whole Miami franchise. We'll be right back. Fox Sports 1280. Maybe the Jets will win more games. Don't go no place. Hey, folks, welcome back to our final segment of what's going on in the experience here on Fox Sports 1280 and iHeartMedia. You can find us on all the other social platforms. I guess, Ryan, I don't know, TikTok, I don't know, Instagram. What else we
Everywhere
got?
but TikTok, pretty much.
Okay, everywhere but okay.
Except
So
for
we're not.
TikTok. What's
So we're
going
not
on,
chicken and
sport?
talking. So we're not chicken and talking.
Not just yet.
Okay, so let me know if you need to do a TikTok because I can do it. I can get it. I can get it.
Are you ready to be an influencer, Nate? Have you been
I'm
working on your
ready.
TikTok dances?
Listen, man. I could do a little. I could touch my damn toes. That's about it. That's much as I can do.
It's more than
But
I can do.
speaking of touching the toes, Paulie, before we left, man, you're gonna give us some insight on some NFL because we really want to get to the Bills and the
Yeah.
Chiefs because the Bills seem to beat them during the season, but during the playoffs, Chiefs got their number. What say you, my brother, Paulie?
Well, agree totally. And the Bills Chiefs, and Bills have to turn this corner. Regular season versus versus playoffs. They got to draw the line somewhere. But here's a point I have, and this could be a whole other topic for a whole show, Nate. But Greg and Ryan both hit on it. We're talking about these young quarterbacks, and we're talking about Fields, and we mentioned Sam Darnold, who's now moved from Minnesota to uh, where is he now? Seattle.
Mm.
But these guys come in and they're high draft picks, but they're coming usually to a bad franchise because they're a high draft pick. And like, there's very rare that a guy can overcome this dysfunction. And I used to get sort of like, I didn't like when a guy would, and I still don't to some degree, when they say, I'm not going there, or they do a dance to avoid being drafted by a certain team. But I see it now, more and more, like, your career can be ruined by these. As Greg said, these guys play 7 8 different coordinators in the first. Well, that ruins a career sometimes, and a lot of guys never recover. And Fields is on that block right now, and this kid from I'm not sure, this kid from the Bears, he's on the line right now. I think he looks great at times, but I don't know,
Caleb
man.
Williams. Caleb
Yeah,
Williams.
yeah,
So, but, but
yeah.
but you do have a good point there because Greg had mentioned this a couple of times, and Ryan did too. The thing about Aaron Rodgers, he held the clipboard. The thing about our boy, what's his name, Patrick Mahomes, he held the clipboard. And what I mean by that, they were playing
Love,
behind
love,
Yeah.
somebody.
love, love held the clipboard.
Love held the clip, and Love is doing phenomenal too. By the way, I
Yeah.
watched that Jordan Love. That kid is playing really really good football. So there's something to be said, Ryan, about holding the clipboard and get. I mean, even Eli held the clipboard. They didn't even throw Eli to the wolves. He held the
But you know
clipboard.
what though, Nate? Even though you hold the clipboard, they had some stability. So when they held the clipboard, they had the same coach there. So when it was
Okay,
their turn, they ran the same system, right? So it wasn't they held the clipboard and now we're gonna learn a new system. And then some of these guys, like I said, you guy in Carolina, they get rid of in Tennessee, they get rid of coaches like this. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, Bryce Young and Cam Ward.
I mean, they have clipboards. They're not holding a clipboard. They're getting thrown to the wolves. And this game is
Mhm.
so fast. I'm happy. Bryce Young. I'm happy with the success he's having. I think Caleb. The whole thing is, in this league is you got to get the ball out of your hand, right?
Yeah.
So you got to know where your guys are going to be at, and if it's not there, but they're so athletic, they're used to extending the play. Throw the ball out of bounds or throw it at their feet. Just get the ball out of your hand.
Yeah.
Okay,
These
So
Ryan.
if you're
these
So
Ty
these
Simpson or a top quarterback, guys, and you're going to get drafted to, say, the New York Jets or some miserable franchise, do you pull an Eli Manning and just say, no way am I going there at this point to protect your overall career at this point? What do you do?
No, I
that's a
think
good
those days
question.
are over with, brother. I think these are billionaires. It's a different game. You know, they if you try to tell them what they're going to do, you might find yourself in another situation like we just had last year. You know
Like
what I mean?
Shador, like
Yeah,
Shador.
yeah,
I hate to say it, man. And they buried that cat on the Cleveland bench, and there's no way he really should be playing a little bit now. I mean, it's the ninth week, and they don't want to give him no shine, Paulie. They don't want to
yeah.
give Shador no
Well,
reps.
To Ryan's
but
point too, it's not always it is a management thing, but if you've got a horrible offensive line, that's your physical safety too, man. These guys come in and it's like if they can't protect you, your career can be over before it ever gets started from a physical
and
aspect too.
that's like Caleb Williams last year. Like I said, I think he was twitching in his sleep. You know what I mean? They said he got hit
Yeah,
more than anybody last year.
running for his
And and
life.
and, and your
He
and
was
you got
drinking Freddy Krueger.
and your boy in Houston also. Last year he's playing
Oh
without
yeah.
his wide receivers and he's playing without a banged up offensive line. These guys are good athletes and good quarterback, but it's all part of the growth. Peyton Manning was 0 and whatever. Troy Aikman was 0 and 4,
Oh, and 15 or
16.
something.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah, you know what I mean. So, but like I said, with the billionaires now, we have to win now. They don't have the patience to
Yeah.
develop and go through all this stuff like you did before. I just hope Cam Moore gets that same opportunity because he's running.
I feel so bad for him. If you watch the Titans, you want to turn the TV off because it's brutal, man. It is brutal. If the guy even gets one throw off, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, but it's part of being that guy too, because you take your Manning and you take your Aikman. They didn't let it deter him. You know what I mean? You have to fight back. So that's the guy you want to lead your team. So at the same time, is he going to quit, or it might hinder his development? But uh, I think Cam Ward has the perfect mentality. He's the first one in the building, last one to leave, and I think they got their guy. They have a good defense. So right now it's just drafting guys that can protect him.
Okay, I got to switch. How much time we got, Ryan? Because we kind of on the clock.
Just a few minutes, maybe 3-4 minutes left.
Okay, good. 3-4 minutes left. We got the NBA Cup going on, and the courts look good. They look great. And who'd have thunk that the Chicago Bulls would be 5-0? Who? I mean, is this the Michael Jordan Bulls? Break up the Bulls. What's going on here? Break up the Bulls. Okay, who'd have thought Philly would be like 6-1? I didn't think the Knicks would be 2-3, but hey, Greg told me to reserve until the All-Star break, so I'ma heed the words of a professional athlete that knows more than me when your team is thinking right about now at the beginning. So I'm gonna redo that. I'm gonna have patience. But I want to go back to you right quick, Greg. As the season rolls out, I mean, San Antonio, we called that. And they looking pretty darn good with Yum gonna be there. That's what I call Victor. I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think there's still, you have to remember now, guys don't play in the preseason. You know what I mean? They're trying to save their legs. They play 1 or 2 games. I think it's you're still trying to figure out your rotation. You're still trying to figure out, where to put guys. And with the movement in the NBA now, guys are trying to figure out where does this guy like the ball? Where does he like? How can I get him in the right spot? And for Philly, like I said, as long as you have Maxey on the team, man, and he's
Philly's
calling
got
out the
that
big guy.
rookie too, Greg. This kid, Edgecombe, or I'm not familiar.
Yeah,
But he's
from
bringing
Baylor,
it up
from
already.
Baylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Baylor. But like I said, I think Philly's taking a more a personality of.
They finally
Maxey.
said, Joel Embiid, sit you behind on the side, give us what you can, but the team ain't evolved around you. They finally said that.
Yeah,
That's why they're doing well.
Maxey's our face of our team now.
Okay,
This guy, he plays for the
Joel
front.
Embiid. The process is over. Sit over here and just give us what you can give us. We're not depending upon you to do anything other than what you've been doing. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Maxey's averaging 35 points a game right now, guys. I
Wow.
mean, he's ascended to that next level, like real deal
But you know what the
superstar.
thing about it? He's always smiling too, dude. He's always smiling, and he loves to play, and he loves the city of Philadelphia.
He could have did
And,
that before, but he had knucklehead MB in his way. When the team said, "Just do your thing, man, and forget about him," he was always concerned about once he could be himself, gentlemen. Because I watch basketball crazy, they let him loose. But we got to get ready to get out of here. Paulie, thank you so much for hanging with us today.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Nate. Hey, Nate. Someone asked me a question yesterday. I just want to run it by you guys. I've been marinating on it all night.
Yes.
They said the true GOAT. If you had to pick one person, Michael Jordan, or Tiger Woods?
I don't like neither one
Still
of them.
taking Jordan.
No, I didn't say who you liked. The true GOAT. They just said if you had to pick a GOAT.
Tom Brady.
Nope.
Of those, it has to be those two. I have to say Michael Jordan over Tiger Woods.
It's a tough one.
Nah,
I'll
I
tell
would
you.
have to.
But I'm still
Paulie got to
taking
come
Jordan.
back. See,
I'm
Paul
still
got to come
taking
back.
Jordan.
Okay, Paul's got
What'd you
to
say,
come back.
Paulie?
I'm still taking Jordan.
I think we're taking Jordan, but I'm just saying
No,
there's a lot of people that would not be
I'm
playing
going with
golf.
Tiger
in this,
Woods.
Yeah.
I hate
just
to say
playing
it.
golf.
I'm
See,
going with Tiger
basketball
Woods
would still
only
be
because
basketball. It might not be.
I'm going with
It
Tiger
might not be
Woods.
to the degree we have.
No,
Magic Bird, and then Michael. He changed
no,
the game.
no.
Tiger Woods changed
I'm going
the
to Tiger Woods. The
culture
reason I'm
of
going to
golf.
Tiger Woods is because even though he didn't want to be black, like half them damn Dominicans I know, I don't know black. Yes, you are. You're darker than my black ass, so you're black. At the end of the day, he is one of the greatest golfers ever.
For sure.
Ever.
Oh, but I'm just saying what he changed. He
He
changed.
changed
It was
the
okay.
game of
It
golf,
was
Bill.
okay for
So
people to look like us to play
no,
golf, right?
no.
If that's
because
the
we look like
qualification of GOAT, yes, then I mean Tiger Woods influenced
That's what I'm
more
saying.
for that sport than Jordan
But
did for
then again,
basketball.
I also want to get Paulie in there because Paulie has a golf tournament that he's doing right quick. I know we got to go with Paulie
Yeah.
because
No.
this is great, Greg. You just segue into something I want to talk about. Paul, go ahead quickly.
Yeah, Nate. No, I'll come back one of these days and I'll bring this young guy, Wendell Haskins. He has the original golf tee tournament. It's been going on for 25 years. And these guys are
Greg,
doing,
yes.
I'm involved in a documentary that they want to make about it, but I'd love to bring him on. My manager brought me to this project. And dude, it's a great project. I don't know, Greg, you might have heard of it. It's been going on for a long time, but we're trying to raise awareness and making a documentary. It
There
honors
you go. Look at
the
that, Greg. You didn't
original
even know that.
Dr. Grant that created the golf tee from
Brother,
Massachusetts. Charlie
brother.
Seifert, Lee Elders. Yes,
Yep.
that's
Mr. Elder, yeah, I know him.
So Greg,
I knew
as
him.
they roll out this doc, man, we have to get back with you because I think there's some synergy there. What do you think, Paulie?
for sure. We gotta get Greg on the tournament, man. I'll get you guys
Yes,
invites so
sir.
you can come check it out. It's in July.
Yes, sir.
All
Okay.
right, man.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
this is how we do in Fox Sports. What's going on in the Heart Media? Ryan, thank you so much for all that you do, brother. You are
Hey,
amazing.
thank you guys. You guys are the best.
Thanks, Ryan.
Just another great show as always. And folks, remember to go online. Fox Sports Radio, WGO.com has it all. And of course, what's going on sports across all social
And
media
Greg,
platforms.
as usual, man, you always ribbing me, but you my man, $1,000,000. I love you,
Love
dude.
you, Mr. Junior. Thank you.
And you give me all the credibility that I need. Trust me.
Paulie, we got to talk afterwards, real quick, about something.
Okay,
So
Greg.
when we get off,
Yeah, sure.
Ryan,
All right.
don't.
All right,
Are we
folks.
still recording?
Over and out. That's it. We're out of here. See you next week, folks.
Peace.
Peace.
Later.